Today we're looking at HSCC Harley Street Crypto Club and confirming that this is a scam. And if you watch this video, I'll give you a quick crash course, things to look out for if this is the sort of thing that you end up getting promoted and pitched by various people. Help you identify what a scam looks like. Now, really good looking website. This is pretty much a standard template these days for these what are known as HYIPs. Here's where they say our profit plans. So 0.7% for 300 days, 0.8% for 263 days, and so on. Basically, the more money you invest, the higher the return. Essentially, all they're doing here is operating what's known as a Ponzi scheme. They rely on new funds coming in to pay out earlier investors, and Ponzi schemes will always collapse. It's mathematically impossible for them to carry on ad infinitum, and so most people in a Ponzi scheme will lose money. You never know when the creators of these are going to decide to simply close it down, vanish, just close the website, run off with your money, or it just runs out of incoming funds and therefore it just collapses of natural causes. But here's the first big red warning flag, is when they're quoting percentage. In this case it's a daily return. It's just insane to think that that's possible in the real world. There is nowhere that you can trade your money where you can get 0.7% guaranteed per day. And so essentially what they're doing is saying, look, you give us, and this is, they're saying invest from $50 to $4,999. Let's say you give them $100 for the next 300 days. They're going to give you 0.7% of your money back every day of your own money. You're going to think that that's money they're earning in some sort of crypto arbitrage. So they're saying automated arbitrage trading at its best, and they will always come up with some excuse as to what they're doing to generate money. But in reality, the only way they make money is by asking new investors to put money into the pot, and then some of that money comes back out of the pot to the earlier investors. So that's in principle how it works. In the meet the team here, do some image searches on these people, look up the names. The names don't exist. Daniel Schwartz, for instance, have a look at Daniel Schwartz, and when you do an image search, reverse image search on Google, you will find that Daniel Schwartz is actually Bob Nugent. Bob Nugent, it's the same picture here. Let's have a look at this. There's that picture, and there is Bob Nugent. So who the heck's Daniel Schwartz? It's a completely fictitious made-up name, and they've put his picture here to try and give some proof of that. But actually, this is Bob Nugent. We've got his YouTube channel here. He's a marketer, and I don't think he's any way involved with HSCC. I think they've simply stolen his photograph, put it on their website, and trying to use that as validity, but a completely different name. And there's another big indication. These are all just lies. It's all completely fabricated, made up to get you to part with your money. Now, another thing they typically do these days is use a UK incorporation to try and confuse you to think, this is a real genuine business. So they've got here our contacts, the Leadenhall building, London. They've got a mobile phone number, but if we look at the actual corporation certificate, so here is the company number, and this is a genuine company number, but to actually register a company at Companies House in the UK is something like £5, £10. Anyone can do it. It means absolutely nothing if you are just setting up a bogus company. Then it's easy to do that. If we actually look at the Companies House information, so here's the same company number, Harley Street Crypto Club Limited. It's a weird name for a company, but if we go back to the actual, we can see here this was only from 23rd of March 2022. That was when it was incorporated, so it's only just over a year old. If we look at the overview, we can see that actually this had the nature of business was residential care activities for the elderly and disabled. Not exactly a crypto arbitrage. The nature of business is still here, residential care activities. You'd think they would have changed that. They probably don't know how to change that. Previous company names, Harley Street Traders Club, they tried that and then they changed their mind. Probably couldn't get the right domain name for that, so they changed that. But the nature of business is for looking after elderly people. And if we look at the people, we've got one director listed here, Amadeep Kaur, date of birth 1990. Again, this will probably be a fictitious person here, but if you go back to the About Us, that person, even though he is the, what did he label himself here as? He is self-employed Indian director, so he's labelled as the director, and yet for some reason is not on the page here. But even if there was a photograph and a name matching the name they'd put on the registration certificate, which is what they should have done if they really wanted to convince people, that could still be completely fictitious, because Companies House do virtually zero checking on who actually submits their details when they're registering a company. So that's a few indicators for you. Another indicator is probably going to be the registered domain name. So it's the hscc.co.uk. Let's do a quick look up. So we look up at who.is for the hscc.co.uk, which is an awful domain name, but we can see here this was registered on the 14th of April 2022. That ties in actually, does it not, with where we saw on the overview. Yeah, so they changed the name on the 14th of April 2022 from Harley Street Traders Club. Like I said, they probably couldn't get the domain name, so they decided to change that to Harley Street Crypto Club, the HSCC, and that's precisely timing in with when they registered the domain name. Dirt cheap to get a domain name, means nothing again. So lots of red flags on this. Bogus names, fake details on there, insane daily returns which are clearly impossible in the real world, and this is nothing more than a straightforward Ponzi scheme. So do avoid, don't put your money in this. These scripts, these packages, by the way, you can get these for about $50, where people can set up for you, typically Indian. They'll set up this sort of website for you, maybe pay $150 for the graphics, $50 for the script to run the Ponzi script, and you're in an illegal business, stealing money by fraud and deception. So don't do it. Hopefully I found that useful. Do subscribe to my channel if you're interested in genuine ways to make money that are not Ponzi schemes or anything like that. Do check out my website at copydragons.com, and subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, let me know if this has been helpful, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.